a part of me. It's creativity. You can do most anything, so just do what you love. Live it, share it, you know it's what you're dreaming of. It's what you're dreaming of. What we love, what we do makes a difference in me and you. All these years of inspiration and love. Oh, how we live, what we say, it's stamping up and it's our way to love, live and share it today. What we love, what we do makes a difference in me and you. 30 years of inspiration and love. How we live, what we say, it's stamping up and it's our way to love, live and share it today. Gonna love and live and share it today. We're gonna love, live and share it today. We're gonna love, live and share it today.
Sometimes it can feel so difficult to catch hold of the inspirational, yeah. But it can be so simple. Love what you do, share what you love. Nobody said there was a secret formula. You know it's so simple, and it's your time to shine. Be who you wanna be. Begin, the rest is easy. Begin, the rest is easy. Look inside and believe in all you can be. Begin, the rest is easy. Begin, the rest is easy. Easy. So take a little look inside yourself. What you'll find there's like no one else. Discover new abilities. Embrace your creativity. 'Cause it's your time to shine. Be who you wanna be. Begin, the rest is easy. Begin, the rest is easy. Look inside and believe in all you can be. Begin, the rest is easy. Begin, the rest is easy. Easy. Back when you could be anything, so we gotta build a dream. Young enough to wanna take a chance. There's no difference between now and then, it's still within your reach. It's your time to shine. Who you wanna be. Beginning, the rest is easy. Beginning, the rest is easy. Look inside and believe in all that you can be. Beginning, the rest is easy. 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 Look inside and believe. You don't have to worry about me. You don't have to worry about it. Begin, the rest is easy. inside and you can see. Begin the rest is easy. Begin the rest is easy, easy.
Hello everyone, and happy Tuesday, my stamping friends and my crafting friends. Today I decided that I wanted to share with you a scrapbook page layout with some new product that I'm excited about. But I don't know if you've noticed and maybe where you live the leaves aren't changing, but where I live the leaves are changing and the canyon is beautiful, and so I wanted to kind of highlight this time of year. So before we jump into the page, let me share with you the product that I'll be talking about today. By the way, if you haven't, let me know where you're joining from. I can see some of the comments come in, and just know that if you have any questions, Abby is back here and will field those questions for me as well. So we'll be here to back you up and support you in any way that we can. All right, let's talk about this beautiful designer series paper. This is called Lovely Florals DSP. I'm actually going to use the sticker sheet with it, so you can buy this separate, the DSP separate, or you can buy this together. But I wanted you to see really up close and personal what the patterns look like on this designer series paper. So I'm going to flip through some of the patterns and then I'll show you the other side. So these are really beautiful. You've got a lot of different color options and colorways to choose from. Florals. Doesn't have to be autumn, but there are some autumn leanings in here. So I love the designer series paper on this. Just picking one and kind of going with that color scheme is a nice way to go. So you've got some varying colors. Let me show you the flip side. So if we kind of go wide, you can see these more broad and beautiful colors on the back side of the designer series paper. So it's going to be a complement to the really patterned side as well. So some beautiful subtle floral patterns. I don't know why I think this is like, it looks autumn to me, but you could use this all year round actually. Okay, beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. So, and to each of those designs. And then we also have the sticker sheet. So I got the pack that came with the sticker sheet. This sticker sheet also comes in a scrapbooking workshop kit. So there are optional ways for you to get this, but I wanted to play with the DSP and I wanted to focus on this sticker sheet right here, because I think our sticker sheets are really great for putting a page or a spread together. And because the patterns are so full and vibrant and bright, I'm focusing here. I wanted to do a really simple and straightforward page to highlight a camping trip that we went on in September, Sean and I and one of our daughters and her husband. So I'm going to kind of build this page as we go along and talk through the approach. So my approach was not using really these bold patterns in the designer series paper, the florals that I show you, which are beautiful. So a different take. I'm going to use a more basic pattern on the page. You'll notice this when we get going. But let me show you the photos first, because I feel like the photos are the hero of any page. So this was a trip that we took in celebration of birthdays for these two. Their birthdays are within a month of each other, and so they said that they wanted to go camping and asked if we wanted to go. So this is going to be the focal point of my page, and then I've also got some scenery pictures that I wanted to showcase, and I'm kind of in this white on white theme, and so I'm going to put out some 2 1/4 inch squares. And we can kind of move these around, but I want 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. We can kind of move these around. So I'm going to mirror the layout so that it's kind of flowing this way. So these are same size. It makes it a little bit easier. Again, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, these little squares right here. And then the photos I've just cut down. It can be 2 by 2. They're a little bit shorter than that, which is fine because I'm just going to center them on that anchor, that white on white piece, and be able to pop those up. But the scenery was beautiful. We were down in Bryce Canyon, Utah. So if you have never been there, this is such a fun trip. It was kind of a little bit of an extended weekend, and it was fun to just hang out with them. We got a little bit of rain down there, but there is nothing quite like southern Utah and red cliffs and blue sky after a fresh rainstorm. So this was a fun trip for us. So I kind of like how this is coming together. I want the center to be my focal point, so I'm going to just make sure that those photos are in the center. But I also want to have some journaling and some highlights there. So I will include a flip flap. So, and this is going to tuck, like this photo I'm going to put in a flip flap and then put the journaling underneath. So I'll show you how I did that once I start assembling the page, but I'm just right now getting some placement. I'll probably put a floral here and maybe a floral here so that I've kind of got this diagonal layout on this page. And then I'm going to put a little bit of a title, some titles on this corner. So what I'm going to do first is just make sure that I'm roughly centered. If you're particular about your measurements, that's totally okay. I'm kind of going with about 3/4 of an inch, but I'm going to eyeball. So if you're worried about it, use your pencil, mark your white willow, or if you choose to do a thicker cardstock, that's fine. That's just what I'm going to do for placement, and then I'm going to anchor these around there. So I'm going to add my photos to these little white squares.
Hey Sarah.
Yeah.
We had a question about how you printed 2 by 2 photos.
Oh, okay. So a couple different things. You can use some of the photo layouts to lay them up differently and print them all out. So you kind of have to do the math. So if you have a 4 by 6, 2 by 2 works, right? Because you've got, you're in 2-inch increments. So I like that option. You can use like a pick frame or a photo software to be able to do that, and then you can just cut them apart. So at home I have like a little Canon selfie type of a printer that works for that, so that I can get 2 up and put 4 up, so 2, 4, 6, 6 on a photo. Does that make sense if you're doing the math? So these would all be, let me kind of show you. So these would all be right next to each other for a 4 by 6. Does that make sense? So you can get 6 up and then you can just trim them. If you're worried about it, you can create space and then trim them out that way. I hope that makes sense.
We also had a question about your ruler.
Oh, you know what? This was a gift. I love that this is like a fun call out. This is from a demonstrator, Sabrina Hillman. So I should give credit where credit is due. I use it all the time. So it sits by my desk, and it's my go-to. So it was a gift, and I love every time someone asks me about it. So I don't know where she got it. I'm assuming she stamped the inside of it with a set that's probably long retired because I've had it for this long. Okay, I'm going to set this aside, and then I am going to kind of get an idea of where these pieces are. Again, I'm not like overly worried about it, but I'm just going to kind of mark them, the edge, so that I am consistent. So just edges, you can mark corners. I just want to know where the edges are. Okay, so then what I can do, I'm going to place my photos here because that's all going to line up this way. We'll kind of center. I don't want to create like a grid. I want to break up the grid right here. And then I've got these cute little marrieds. They're adults, by the way. They're so fun. Okay, so I'm going to kind of offset this way. So that creates space for some of my sticker sheet. So I'm going to use this sticker right here. I love that these are pretty thick. They're not as dainty. And then this is going to kind of go right here. So I'm just lifting my photos up, and I'm going to lay this down, and then this will just kind of go back on top of it. Does that make sense? So I'm kind of creating a composition here, and then I'm going to do the same thing right here. So I've got this other floral piece, this one right here. And I'm going to kind of line this up like this, just scoot the pieces aside. Do you like how technical this is? It's not technical at all, but it works for me, which is great. Okay, so I'm gonna line my photos back up so that I know where to put my title and some different words. So we've got these here. And then this is just gonna kind of land up here like this. These are gonna center and frame. So I've got an element here and an element here. So I've got some different clusters going on this way. And then I'm going to add a title piece here. So I love the let's make the most of today. This was, like I said, a really quick weekend. It was something fun. I'm going to make sure this is kind of inside this imaginary border that I have. It's about 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm just going to line this up. I think it's straight. Hopefully you don't. There we go. Good enough. And then I've got some pieces down here. So I'm making sure that I'm lining this up. So I've got this imaginary frame that I don't want to come into because that's the frame for my page, just white on white. And then I'm going to do, let's see, you have options on this sticker sheet here. So I'm going to do time together. And I'm going to place this kind of centered right here. Time together, we're going to do full hearts. We could do adventure too, actually. Let's do adventure. I like this one. There's no really rhyme or reason. I'm okay if it's not perfect. And then I'm gonna do, well, time together. This means everything. So let's do that. So I like some of these working together. So I've got about 1/8 of an inch in between each of these. It's not perfect, you can tell. I'm okay with that. But this is how we're building the layout for the page. Now, here's another tip or trick. When you're using a white background on your layouts, I actually think it's really fun to pop up your photos and create dimension. And so if you want to use a bunch of dimensionals, you totally can. Our foam sheets work really great for that. So you can stick this right underneath the full photo. Remember, this is a flip flop, so I'm not going to touch this, but then I can cut this apart and use it underneath these photos. So those photos, they won't like get squished when they're in an album. So you can kind of use these parts. They're really easy to cut. And it's okay if they're not perfect. That actually, and you can cut strips. If you're like, I don't want to use the whole thing, that's also fine. But for this one, I think it's kind of a nice touch. So I can use the strips here actually because I don't want to waste my page. So we'll do a very technical, Sarah. Yes, so technical. So we'll use those and then I'll do one more. Does anyone else use foam adhesive behind their photos just to pop them up and secure them? Maybe this is, I know some people do. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm going to put my page together. So I'm going to anchor this part. And you can erase your pencil marks if you like. I am not going to, so I'm just going to stick this on the back and make sure that I am lining up. I've got my edges like so. And you can see how that pops up and creates a shadow a little bit. It's hard to tell. There we go. Let's see right here. So you can kind of see the little shadow right here, which is what I'm going for. Okay, so there's this piece. This one's gonna come later, and then I can add the other ones.
Pauline says she loves to pop up her photos, and Tamara mentioned that Karen would love this.
Oh, okay, yeah, we know, we have some friends here that, man, whether you're using dimensionals or foam sheets, like, there is never such a thing as like too much. Okay, so I'm going to anchor my corner here, and I want my edge. I've got to lean in a little bit. Sorry, camera people. Okay, so I'm creating this corner here, and I'm going to do the same thing and just continue that imaginary edge. If you're worried about it, grab a ruler, it will help. If you're like, it must be precise, that is also fine. So we'll add some foam here. So if you're like, okay, I just need to kind of eyeball this, that's fine too. So feel like you can. I just am more of an, I like to eyeball mine. So I'm gonna go with this, just like that. Okay, same thing at the top. I want you to see how easy it is to kind of build a page from start to finish, especially when you've got kind of a grid going. So I'm gonna set this right here. I wanna do my corner first. Oh, so I can see someone else also has a Canon printer. Yeah, sometimes we send our stuff to like a service that will print them, so too. I'm lucky because I have people here that will print them for me. So I feel a little bit spoiled, especially when it's something for work. But when I'm at home, then I'm on my own. All right, so I'm just kind of anchoring this photo. It's gonna go down last, but I need it to be in place so that I'm creating this corner again up here. So similar in spacing, get that one. And then this one right here, I'm gonna kind of cross over this barrier. So I'm offsetting a little bit. Perfect. Okay, I'm good with this. So now everything is stuck on the page except for this part. So let me kind of show you what I'm thinking with that. First, I'm going to bring in some of these pieces. Now, I'm not going to show you how I got the journaling lines, like I'm not going to do it, but it's just one of these rulers and a journaling pen to get your lines. You can space them, I guess I can turn that around. You can space them however thin or thick you'd like. So that's just a 4x6. It's the same size as a photo. That's going to go underneath my photo. Just like this, same place. Okay, so I've still got my grid going, but before I put this down, I want to use a flip flap. If you have not seen a flip flap, this is just a 4x6 protector basically for my photo, and it's got this adhesive piece on it as well. So it's gonna fold this way, just like this. So you could do this, you know, flip this way, you could flip from the side if you want to. I'm gonna have mine open like a book underneath this piece, and then I'm gonna line up my photo this way. Does that make sense? So you can put, it's clear, so if I wanted to put my journaling down first and then put this on, it would be clear. So you could. I'm gonna tuck mine underneath, that's why I needed that line there. So I'll pull off this adhesive piece. And this is like static cling for sure. Like it gets everywhere. Okay, and then remember I want it to open like a book. Okay, so it's gonna adhere just like this on this line right here. And I'm just gonna make sure I line it up so that it's centered. There we go. Kind of where my photo will be in line. I hope this is making sense. Okay, so I've got this piece, and so when I put my photo in, then it folds this way and lines up across the page. Does that make sense? So now I can add my journaling piece and adhere that down. If you're worried about it, don't adhere it until you've actually done it. And then I'm lining this up with my marker, my little points where my photo was gonna go, so that it's covered. Right, I gotta get the top part. Okay, so you get this, and then I'm gonna also decorate the inside of this just for a little peek. So I've got this green, I mentioned the designer series paper, so I've just cut it to 4x6. So it's gonna fit behind my photo, and then I'm gonna use another floral. and a title. So I've got a few left. We're going to use this one. And I'm going to kind of adhere this like, I think I might cut some of this off actually. Okay, so I'm going to have this bleed off the edge a little bit. Trim this off. Okay, and then this is going to be like this. I'm going to add big smiles because it's cute. I like it. So then to the inside. So this is just something, a nice little surprise for the flip flap. Now, what about your page protector? Like, how are we going to get this in a page protector? This is the layout. This is the thing I love. So if I am, do I have an extra page protector? Maybe I don't. Okay, we'll pretend. Give me 1 second. So let me show you how I did this. I've got, so this is the layout. I should have grabbed another page protector. So here's what we do. We put the page in. I'm actually going to take this. Give me 1 second. This can come, does this make sense? This is where this is going to come in. I might have needed to put that on after I cut it. Hold on 1 second. It will pop out. This is the joy of being live. Okay, so don't panic. I think Abby's probably panicking. Melody is for sure panicking. Because
if you take the photo out, it might come out easier.
I can fold it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like all of this got put together. Okay, so there's a slit. Oh, this is real life. I love it so much. Now you can see what this actually looks like. Okay, so we put the page in. So I would stick the page in that I just made. And then I'm going to mark with either a pencil or a blade, corner to corner. So mark here to here. And then what we do is we pull the page out and use a piece of chipboard or a little, cutting mat or something. Line it up on the edge, and then you're going to use either, you can use snips, you can use take your pick tool with the blade on the end and a ruler. I like to line my dots, my points up, and then you would just slice down your page protector so that keeps your photos protected when they're in the page protector, but then you have that interactive piece when you put it in the page protector. Does that make sense? So then this is going to be inside the page protector, but this is protected outside of the page protector. So love that, how that kind of comes together. A little tricky when it opens like this. You could also make the cut and then add, but I think it's just going to be easier to do it the other way. So I can pull that back in. Okay, and then pull that flip flap out. Can you see what I'm doing there? And then I can put this back in. Oh, perfect. All right, so this comes together and you have this really remarkable spread to keep track of your memories and something fun. So that is, do we have any other comments or tips or questions that I can answer?
We did have a question. You're using Floral, but it's celebrating, Austin's birthday. How do you feel about like florals and masculine?
Oh, okay. This is for me. And so I get to put whatever I want on the page. Now, Sydney could choose not to do that when she makes hers, but I feel like the photos really are the hero of this page, and the fact that there are florals on the page, it kind of goes with some of the floral accents and scenery pics that you see, because florals are natural. So I like the natural approach, maybe even more than I'm worried about the floral. Does that make sense? So I think that's a great question. If you're worried about that, then you might choose to put something else here and accent it differently. Like maybe you can use a color blocking method or something like that. But this one, I just wanted little highlights, just little clusters of goodness in the top and in the bottom that highlight really the focal point of my page. Great question. And I would love any other tips and tricks too in the comments. Let's reply to each other and learn from each other. other comments, Abby, that are coming in?
We did have somebody say with the stickers, she's used the embossing buddy to take the
Okay.
stickiness off of it.
Okay, so yeah, that's a great tip. So these are sticky backed, but you can also use an embossing buddy that takes the sticky away, or you can put these sticker pieces on something else if you want to pop them up. Sometimes I'll just use extra adhesive or extra dimensionals like the adhesive sheets and just pop them up sticky on sticky. So I think you've got some options there as well. Love all of these tips. They're fabulous. And now I've made 2, and so I can give one to Sydney and Austin and have one for me. So they can journal whatever they want about the trip, and I can journal whatever I want. And we have these memories that we get to share together. It's not very often that you get to spend time with, one-on-one with kids or couples or whatever the case may be. And so this was a really special time to be able to spend with them. And I wanted to make sure that I captured that in a really simple, elegant nature style. I don't know how else to describe this, but anyway, I am so excited that you have joined me today. Hopefully you check out the products or the suites, whichever speaks to you. And maybe you're not a scrapbooker, and that's totally fine. Share with me what you're doing with this product or these images in your card making or box making or crafting, whatever that is. I think it's beautiful as a home decor piece too, like some of these florals. So enjoy and have a great Tuesday. We'll see you later.
Look inside and you can see. Begin the rest is easy. Begin the rest is easy.